spawning in the close rush distance, it will be hard for both of these players to maintain an early expansion. If they decide to go fast expand, this could be a very early game. Let's find out if there's going to be a good timing push coming out from Control. What do you think, Fire?
Well, actually, I was speaking to a couple of quite high Grandmaster Protoss players, and they were actually saying that close positions PvT is actually somewhat Protoss favored. Seems to be like the general opinion at the moment around higher level players, but I don't know if that's true, but I'm guessing this will give some sort of indicator to the truth of that statement. But it makes kind of sense, obviously, with warp gate technology and all that, and Protoss being able to warp in via pylons. Taking a third on this map halfway across the map is going to be more of a problem for Terran than it is for Protoss in theory. So yeah, definitely interesting to see that, and oh my god, I think we might need some Benny Hill.
Oh man, it looks like we may. Here we go. Let's get that Benny Hill on as we watch the SCV be chasing down the probe. It's some madness here at IMBA TV.
Awesome. In the left corner, we have the probe. Oh, the probe is going to run away. He is not an honourable man, as we do see Unique Killing going for the 14 assimilator and the 12 gateway opening. So definitely going to play safe this game, and why he should do. You never know what Control's going to do crazy to try and get himself back and win himself this middle game to try and get it into a best of 3. But it looks like he is actually playing standard himself with the 12 racks. Not opting to wall off here, just going straight for the normal barracks opener. Orbital command now morphing as the first Marine does make its way out, and now the shoe is on the other foot as the SCV for controllers in the base. And when we see Kalin once again pull all those probes, the insane AI response to having an SCV in his base, it doesn't look like he will, as the SCV is just patrolling. But the first Zealot soon to hit the field, along with that cybernetic score, about 50% complete, Duffs.
Yeah, and patrolling is definitely a good way to troll your opponent. Look at me, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right in front of your Nexus. What are you going to do? Are you going to send all your probes? Doesn't look like it. But it looks like the factory going down here for Control, and I think Control's going for the MMM again. I mean, he's placing this factory very close to the edge, and it will maybe even lift off and go for a scouting mission into Kalen's base. Now, that SCV does go right through the middle of the probe line, and it doesn't look like Kalen's got any interest at all in dealing with that SCV as it continues just to move in and out and around the Kalen's base. Now also the wall off with the bunker and 2 supply depots going down from Control, trying to thwart off any type of early aggression or early 4-gate attack, because bunkers will definitely do that. And the name of that song was the Benny Hill theme. But we do see the reactor core here, Fire Silver.
Yep, we are seeing that. So very early Marine's going to come out, and going to be a delayed stim. And just wanted to point out that you cannot spell patrol without troll. So a very clever pun there. McDuff's always ceased to amaze me.
That was the pun I was going for, man. So I'm glad you got it.
God, we're a hive mind, man. Just
whatever.
Got this bond going. Yeah, man. Just no biggie.
Yeah, no biggie.
So Unique Killing going for the 3-gate robo once again. He was actually explaining to me how safe this build is, and rightfully so. It gives you all of the tech paths very early on, so you can pretty much transition into anything you want. It's kind of like the 1-1-1 really for Terran in that kind of respect, and that early observer is just so good for trying to determine how your play is going to react to what your opponent is doing. But Control once again going to be doing this suicide factory, and Colin will see this, and doesn't look like he's going to bother to pull anything. Oh, maybe pull one stalker to start shooting that down. But sacking that factory, so obviously this is going to give Kalin a good indicator that he's either going for some sort of one starport play, or as you said, bio. And from the looks of it, it's going to be a lot of barracks, and I don't think he's going to be building a lot more out of this starport after this Raven. Probably reactor.
He'll probably switch it up with a reactor core of one of these barracks just so he can get out a bunch of medvacs, and that Raven will do a good job at watching and keeping an eye out for these observers, as one observer does go through the middle of Control's base, checking it all out, seeing everything in the build, seeing the 3 barracks, seeing the null expansion, meaning no expansion there from Control as of yet. Both these players playing on one base. Kalen only on is on 3 gates right now and getting that robotic support bay on the way, so he's going to get out some Colossus. And it'll be interesting to see. There's that switch going down. Control switching it up with the tech lab here from his barracks to his starport. So the starport will be able to produce nothing but Vikings and medevacs. And with those medevacs, he will be able to do some mean drops and some mean play as this play continues.
But I don't know if this Raven's really going to be of much use, Duffs. I mean, we've seen in a lot of Killen's games that he basically just has so many Zealots in his army composition, and then really it's mainly Zealot Colossus with some Stalkers sprinkled in.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that point defense drone is going to do anything to a couple of Psyblades. So I think it's kind of a wasted investment.
It definitely seems that way, Fire Silver. And look at this. We've got a Control moving forward with a Raven, 3 Marauders, and a group of Marines. But it looks like they're actually going to move back to the base. Going to be building up a little bit more before he decides to push in. He knows that there's Colossus on the field. He may or may not know that there's Thermal Lance on the way. He probably is hinted towards it because, I mean, who is going to do that when they're going Colossus, right?
Exactly. And oh my god, this factory, the guy piloting it needs to land. He's going to burn to death. Oh my god, the time is ticking. But there is a drop here from Control. It's so tense as that man in the factory is in near danger of dying. But this drop is more important, and that is going in the back with 8 Marines. But 8 Marines against 1 Colossus and all these Zealots. I don't think it's going to do that much, Stuffs. I don't think 8 Marines are going to be able to pack enough DPS to do anything more than probe damage. But Kalin didn't see it, but is warping in 3 more Zealots here, and it is going straight for the probe line, picking up 1 probe, but they are going to be forced to load up. But not that much AA from Killing to deny this, but, even though he isn't able to deny killing that medevac, he's still pumping out these Colossus,
right.
And we should see Thermal Lance down Thermal Lance is done.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Now, it looks like these Marines will drop down on the ground back here in the closest air distance to Unique Kalen just to get some heals, spread out that heal bus and get it going, as it looks like he will go in for another drop once again and continuing to pump out the Vikings. Now that he knows all about the Colossus build that's going on from Kalen, he is, let's see if Control's going to be able to do something here. He's going to need to do some heavy damage on this one base play that Kalen's got him mounting. Let's take a look at that unit counting station and watch the probe count start to fall here. Probe sitting at 26 for Kalen, and 29 SCVs plus 2 mules are out and in swing for Control, as Control is just continuing to pump out those Marines, Marauders, Vikings, and Medvacs.
Yeah, definitely. And sorry, I'm getting distracted there. Yeah, definitely lots of Vikings coming out, and I would say this was blind, but wow, the factory pilot survived. He gets himself a medal.
Yeah, he floated that back at like 100 health and was able to repair it before it got totally taken out and taken to school. But look at this. Kalen moving forward with his 1 base. And with this 1 base push here, a bunch of Zealots out and sprinkling on those Stalkers, as you said so eloquently before, as well as these Colossus just hanging out in the middle of that group here of units. Now, one Medvac and a bunch of Marauders and Marines here, and here come the Vikings. 5 Vikings moving over now. No expansion as of yet being placed down from Kalen, but we do have the expansion command center, or the Comansion, going down right now from Control. Control going with these Vikings. There's not much anti-air support here, Fire Silver. I don't know. These Vikings are as good as dead. A force field going down. These Marauders and Marines should move the hell back. Get those Colossus the hell out of here before you send in those bio forces. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to go on. He needs to do some scoot and shoot micro with these Marines and Marauders to try to limit these Zealot numbers. More Stalkers are out trying to deal with this, taking down that Medvac. These Marines and Marauders looking so tough, so strong, flexing their muscles and getting right in there, getting their hands dirty, taking out all of those Stalkers. And in the meantime, we've got Vikings dropping down, providing DPS over onto that the main base. Let me finish my sentence here. And it looks like a GG was called out. Control takes the win, gets the point, ties the game. We're going into game number 3 with both these players on 1. Hell yes, more action, another game. They do not disappoint here at the Craft Cup. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Let's get into it. We've got another matchup on the way down, and it looks like it's going to be on Shakira's Plateau.
Hey, Duffs.
Hey, a fire.
Do you think that factory just like landed and then suddenly the door bursts open? It's like, guys,
Yeah.
I just saw a load of Colossus. You need to build Viking.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think there's a little bit of chaos going on for that driver
Panicking,
over
bro.
that, man. I mean, I wouldn't want to be driving that factory as it floats right over that. That was ridiculous.
Should be a Blizzard day dedicated to the lost pilots.
The lost
And,
pilots.
It is a best of 3, is it not?
It is a best of 3. This will be the last one between these two. So it's tied up. Endry, are you ready, man? The countdown has freaking begun.
I'm ready to go.
Hell yes. Hell yes. And here we go. All right, everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining. And Endry, why don't you go ahead and lead us into your famous introduction as we are in the final game of this tournament.
Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, guten Abend, good evening, buonasera, buenas noches, konnichiwa, xin chao, ni hao, good Abend, buenas notte, good afternoon, good kveld, yo estet kivano, grüezi grüß Gott, namaste, namusta. Here we go, it is Control, he is playing against Kalin in game number 3, the ace match, the final game, the decision of a lifetime, here on Tuesday's Craftcup Lite number 56, if I'm not mistaken. Kalin spawning as the blue Protoss in the top right, and in the bottom left cross positions here on Shakura's Plateau 1.4 we have Control.
Yes, and Control is going to actually place down that first supply depot on the top of his ramp, hinting towards a wall-off type of build here on Shakira's Plateau. We do see Kalen going with the normal opener, throwing down that pylon, and sending out that first Brobe Scout.
I mean, we have to say one more thing about the factory driver in the last two games. I mean, I would rather be a Marine facing an army of July Zerg than be a factory driver here for Control, because Control, I mean, he's wasting his factory drivers like a lot.
Well, you know, he actually kept his factory alive in the last game, so that guy went home with a medal. His family got extended pay, and he got a vacation, so maybe he won't be here in this game.
I mean, yeah, the factory survived, but I can tell you one thing for sure, the factory driver died of a heart attack.
I'm sure. And the first probe going right into Control's base, now starting to tase out on that SCV that's building that first barracks, and it looks like this probe will go on to tase the other SCV that is coming up to start to poke at it. That probe will move off and do a little bit more scouting as it pokes in and out of Control's base. Kalen now finishing up his first gateway, and it looks like a normal build. No cheese, no Gouda, nothing smelly here. We can keep this going with a great match.
Absolutely. So, we see Control is mining a little bit already in his refinery, just continuing with the marine production. I think we might see a factory pretty soon, and if Control is building factory, we know someone is going to die. Mule's called down just right now, and I'm really curious what Kalin is going for. I mean, he went for the Colossus-oriented gameplay in game number 1, in game number 2 as well, and now the question is, might he be able to change his gameplay up a little bit? Maybe go for some DTs, maybe go for some Void Ray-oriented gameplay, even some Wall Prism shenanigans, who knows? I would really prefer to see something like that.
You know, I would too, man, and as we are getting into this last game, they both have played twice against each other, so they should know what to look out for with their builds consecutively, and maybe, maybe Kalen will actually go ahead and assess that and actually come up with another strategy here that he may have up his sleeve. Now, the winner of this game will take the winning of the series, take home the cool $20 and the prestige to say, I took the win. Hell yeah. But anyways, the factory landing down now on the tech lab, and it looks like this factory driver will be safe for now as Hellions are on their way out in full swing with also having the upgrade of the pre-igniter, Andrew.
I mean,
no dude,
Marine
Stargate.
Medivac. Yeah, Blue Flame Hellion against Stargate. This is some completely different by both players. I know why I talked about this, because it's quite awesome. Changing up the gameplay is always what you want to do, because